and welcome to Adventure is Ours. I am Vic, and today we will see two nature reserves. Both of them have to do with sand. More of that later. Let's go. So we're now here at the entrance of the Schwanheimer Düne. We're here in Schwanheim, a district of Frankfurt, which became Frankfurt in 1928. This was a small village, and in the year 880 this place was called Schweinheim, meaning pig's place. Probably it had a lot of piggeries, and through the dialect Schwanheim became Schwanheim, which means place of the swans. As well, the seal of Schwanheim has a swan, but in reality it has nothing to do with swan but with pig. Schweinheim. Anyway, let's go back now and enter this Schwanheimer Düne. Schwanheimer Düne means sand dune of Schwanheim. Why sand dune? Well, this has to do with the Ice Age. 10,000 years ago, through the glaciers, the sand that was in the Main River, which is right beside us, the Main River, was carried all the way here to this place. And because this place is so sandy, barely any vegetation was able to grow except pines. Pines can grow really on very poor, dry, arid soil. You can see it already from here. This is all sandy soil, and the pines growing there. You have an impression that you are here in the Mediterranean. Here we go inside. You have to walk on the wooden bridge. It's a protected area, Naturschutzgebiet. Zia will of course be in front of us and show us the way. We're not supposed to walk on the sand dunes because in these particular places you have plants and animals that are very seldom and protected. Nice feeling to walk on this wooden bridge. You have a lake. It's all a natural reserve. Nature reserve. After the Ice Age, this whole place was a very dense forest, and as it came in Europe, all the forest was locked down to cultivate, and so the peasants tried to cultivate here, but it didn't work out because of the sandy soil. The sandy soil is not made for crops, so it became wild again. And you can see the pines grow here. Look at the blue sky. When you see those pines with the blue sky, you really think you're somewhere in Italy, Spain, Croatia, on the Mediterranean. Besides, the weather is fantastic today. We have plus 15, the sun is warm, and you have a cool breeze. The weather is gorgeous. So here you have this lake, which is actually an artificial lake because the people in the old times used to take this sand for construction purposes. They didn't really have an feeling for protecting the nature. Everything what they can get, they took. So out of this big hole Now they made a lake with very seldom species of birds that live here. You can see everything is blooming. We're now in the middle of spring, and the weather, as I mentioned, is truly gorgeous. So look at those crooked pines. Unlike when you go in the forest, the pines are very straight because they grow tall so they can reach the top to where the sun is. But here it's different. So they're all crooked. And look at that tree. This is a paradise for birds and animals. You can hear them. Schwanheimer Düne, all sand. At this point you can really see that this is sand, this is natural sand. All from the Main River. It was brought here 10,000 years ago during the Ice Age. All those are sand dunes. They're covered up, of course, with special grass that grows only here, called Binzengras, and full of pines. Those trees that are really specialist to grow in this kind of very poor soils. These grasses are called Binzen. You find them very often in the mountains, in the forest, but also here. They grow on very poor soils. And what is in between, this is not moss, this is lichens. Lichens is the main food for the reindeers. Find them a lot in the tundra up north in the polar areas. This is a unique place, a beautiful place. See all the sand, sand dunes. Dogs have to be on the leash, of course, for the sake of the protection of the animals that live here. It's so nice when one protects nature. Here you have leftovers of an orchard. In the old times, as we mentioned, people tried to plant here, but it didn't work out. These are the leftovers, poor crops, and all those fruits, mostly apples, are now wild apples. So now we're here out of this protected area, but it's still protected even here. As you can see, Naturschutzgebiet, Naturschutzgebiet, all around is all protected, but not to the extent like, of course, this part with the pine trees. And you can see we still walk on sand dunes still here. We're walking here around this protected sand dunes. Zia loves to walk on the sand, like on the beach, right, Zia? Wow, nice crossroad. So as we're walking back, one last view at this Schwanheimer Düne. You can see here those sand dunes. Now it's really visible. So this is it for this Schwanheimer Düne Nature Reserve. And now let's go to the other nature reserve. And that place also has to do with sand. See you then. So we're gonna hear this second nature reserve, and it's called Mainzer Sand, which means the sand of Mainz. As you can see the name, sand again. And it has the same formation like Schwanheimer Düne. 10,000 years ago during the Ice Age. But this time the sand is from the Rhine River, not from the Main. Besides, the Main River flows in the Rhine River here in this locality in Mainz. So Zia knows this place very well. We've been here twice already. And here you go, the sand dunes of Mainzer Sand. This is also a protected area with pine trees that grow here in these very poor soils. And as you expected, we're walking on sand. One of Zia's favorite things. Yay, like on the beach. Yes, you can see here those sand dunes. So it says here, do not enter. Here in this place you have over 180 species of plants that are on the red list. That's why this is a world-known ecosystem. In this place you can find plants that grow only in the Mediterranean. 10,000 years ago, the glaciers pushed the sand into this place and formed the sand dunes. When they melted, it was a very hot period in which the temperature was dry and hot like in the Mediterranean. And after it became cooler, those plants that grow in the hot regions of the Mediterranean died everywhere except for this locality, because here they still find the proper soil. So this region, this Mainzer Sand, has more seldom species of plants than in the first place you've been, in Schwanheimer Düne. This is world known. We'll go around it. Like the signs, Zoya? The whole place is protected with a double electrical fence to make sure that people will not go inside and destroy the plants. You can see here in front of us those shallow roots of the pine trees. That's the reason why pines and firs can grow on very poor and rocky soil. In this case here, it's very poor sandy soil. Look at those flowers growing here. You can see the animals that live here, and they are under protection. Look at those kind of beetles. Look at that. As mentioned, this is all under protection. As you can imagine, it's hard to walk here since you're walking on sand, so it slows you down. And now it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, quite warm when you're here in the sun. So as you can see, the Mainzer Sand is a nature reserve and it's protected by the European Union. At the back of me once again, the sand dunes of Mainzer Sand, and all the way at the back goes pine tree forest. We're now at the end of our tour of those two nature reserves that have to do with sand. Hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you next video. Until then, take care of yourself, and please don't forget now, press the subscribe button. Subscribe. The adventure is ours. Bye.